set that we started, and then we can actually start the interview itself. Okay. 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 It's working. Let me check if everything is correct. If everything is correct. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's correct. It's working. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if everything is working correctly. Video audio quality. Let me sit into my original position here. Sorry for the noises coming from my chair. Okay, so let us know, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know if everything is working perfectly. Video quality, audio quality here. And also, I hope there is no lag or frame drop in the stream. Please let me know so we can start the actual interview itself. Please let me know. Please let us know. Hölgyek, urak, tudassátok velünk, hogyha kezdhetünk. Jó-e a videó, audio minőség? Like I'm always saying, you will be able to ask questions at the end of our interview, ladies and gentlemen, so keep that in mind too. Feel free to write down your questions and I will read back the chat. Hölgyek, urak, jó a minőség? I will check it myself as well because it seems that people are lurking, so takes time for them to speak up, so I will rather check myself as well. Are lurking, so it seems it takes time fine for them to speak up, so I will rather check myself as well. Okay, it seems fine. André, let me know. Let me
Awesome.
know if we can start. Let us
Yeah,
know.
for sure. I'm ready.
Okay, nice. Okay, so welcome everyone in my very new episode of my Dev Live show. I'm here today joined with the creator of the game called Folly of the Wizards. And I'm very honored and very thankful that you joined us for today's episode. And like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please introduce yourself for us.
So first, thank you for having me. We are the ones that need to thank you for creating this opportunity. It's really nice.
Thank you.
So my name is André Ferreira. I'm one of the creators of Folly of the Wizards. It's a game that we started last year, start of the last year, 2023.
I see.
At the start, Jan, we start talking. It's only the team. It's me and my colleague Luis.
I see.
So I'm responsible for the artwork, for the animation, for the writing, and Luis is the actually coder. He's a coder member. So it's the two of us. And then for music purposes, we are working with a musician that we are for specific topics of the game. And but before so this is gonna be our first video game, right? We just created the company last year, and before I was working for like 8-10 years in companies as a motion designer, as an animator, and illustrator too. But was more for advertising on the TV, like a pharmacy product that you see an animation coming. Probably it's what I was doing during all those years.
I see.
And I'm from Portugal, so I worked a long time in Lisbon. Then I worked with a company in Zagreb, Croatia, and then I'm back in Portugal. And me and my colleagues decided was always something that we wanted to do, was creating a video game, because I know him for these past 10 years. He worked with me.
I see.
So we decided, okay, let's try and see what we can do together, and finally started.
Nice.
And that's it. It was the start of it.
Nice. Very nice. It's a really lovely story. And thank you for the introduction. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So my very first question would be, what was your very first contact with video games as a player, if you remember those times of your past?
So, yeah, I remember I think my first video game was on those old computers that my father had, the old computer that we had
Okay.
to put the disc and press some code. I don't remember exactly how it worked.
Okay.
But the game was called Prehistoric. I think it was
Okay.
Prehistoric.
Okay.
It was a guy on the prehistoric age that
Okay.
you had to beat the toe of a dinosaur and you keep going. It was a platform game.
I see.
And I think that was the first game that I remember. But when I started getting more involved with video games and more addicted and really interested, was with my first Mega Drive,
Okay.
Mega Drive console. I remember my parents gave me and my brother, the first Mega Drive, and came with the Lion King game.
Nice.
Yeah, oh my god, and yeah, from that moment on, I knew I love video games. I played a lot. I love to research about them, and I
Nice.
was always trying to, at that time, draw on paper. And I had a colleague, and I would imagine if we could do a game, what would it be? But so yeah, started with probably, I think Lion King was a big thing. Then all the other Mega Drive games. I remember I was very into Disney, so Aladdin, all those games. And then with the first PlayStation came Tomb Raider, and things started evolving more. And I went more to online gaming, and yeah, I think that was the start of it. I will say the Prehistoric was the first encounter with video games, but it really started with the Mega Drive and Lion King.
I see. Back
Really
then,
cool.
do you think like you had the vision to make and create games, or do you had the dream that you would like to also not just play games and enjoy playing games, but also to make games back then, around this age of yours when you started
That
playing
age, I
games?
don't know.
Okay.
I remember maybe, I think on my 5th grade.
Okay.
I remember I always loved to illustrate and
I see.
illustrate and animate. I really like that process of things.
I see.
I knew I would never like to code. Like I knew it was not my thing.
I
So
see.
if I was going to build a game, I needed someone with that expertise, right? But I always loved to draw. And I remember on my 5th grade, I started playing around Adobe Flash at
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
And I love to create animations there. And at that time, I had a friend that he was really good with coding.
I see.
And I think that's when it started. Okay, you start trying to create something, but it was always more browser games, or
I see.
so there was always something that that was always connected to video games. But what I really wanted was to do something with illustration
I see.
and animation, and then the gaming was always that I always played a lot of video games.
I see.
So it quite came naturally, this wish of making a game. I think I was just very. There was always this step now that I didn't know how to code, and I didn't want to code at all. I want to focus completely on the artwork.
I see.
So I always need to find someone that was willing to do that part.
I see.
So maybe that's why now, after so long, we finally managed to create a game, because I always worked with other artists, and to find a game developer, I had to find someone in the industry also, right? A front end developer, or someone that really loved Unity, and by the way, wanted to make a game. And that's how me and Luis start talking about this. But to answer your question, yeah, I think there was always something on my mind.
I see.
That I wanted to do artwork for gaming, at least that.
I see. Do you have any regrets that you started very late of making your own games, like you were talking about it?
I don't know. I think so. I always my studies, it went through. I studied design, design and multimedia, and I worked always in that area. And I picked motion design because inside the design world was what required more illustration and animation, right? So I don't see it as a regret, because I think I learned a lot about animation and illustration during design.
The experience really drove forward due to that
exactly.
path of like making your own game.
Yeah. And I think this design also helped me a lot making this game now in terms of UI design, all of that part. Because I sometimes I think I should have gone to a game developing course maybe, but I know I will get all that code that I told you about, and I knew that was not for me, and I was never going to be good at it. So I decided, okay, let me follow this design, and maybe one day,
you'll end up making games, right? And you ended up making games, so it's
win-win. So so I think it ended up well. Yeah, it took 10 years, but during these 10 years, I think I learned a lot from how a company works, how the design process works, how project works. and I think that really helped us both. Now, even Luis, all these years that he worked as a he's also into VFX animations, and but he also has the code expertise. And I think all this together now helped us plan this game very well and at a nice rhythm. So I don't regret it. No, I think I think I learned a lot from this, and I enjoyed it. Also doing this, it's another world
It's
completely of
important, yeah.
product design, and but I think all these things that you learn through all these years now come back together, and you can apply in what you really like to do. In our case, it's a game. So I think I don't have any regrets.
Okay. A more personal question from me would be: do you think like your family members and close friends were supportive about this decision of yours that now you want to switch to video games creation in your life? How do you feel about that?
So I think yeah. No, my family was always super supportive.
Okay.
And my friends always super supportive. And during all my life, whatever I wanted to follow, I like to draw. They always found me, got me materials to be able to do that, like the pencil, the paper. So they always support me a lot during all this year. And now this jump from design to game developing, like now they were always super supportive because they know I'll always follow what I like to do, and I'm quite safe in my choices. I never go crazy risky, I never risk everything just to try to release a game.
I see.
We are working on this game because we are quite safe to try and fail, So and my family is super supportive. My wife is super supportive. She always said, I completely trust you. If you like it's what you like to do, just do it, and that is a huge help, but that's what I was telling. I think all these years of practicing allows me to be more safe now.
I see.
And so I always had their support, and even if it was not very safe, I think they'll tell me, okay, just be sure what you are doing. But I always felt a lot of support around me, so that really helped me, and I think Luis the same.
I see.
So we never had anyone pushing us back or pushing us down and telling us, "Oh, that's gonna fail. Is risky." So that was never part from anyone around us. So has been quite good.
Do you think, by the way, it's important to have a supportive background, even in an emotional level or on a financial level?
I think it makes everything easy.
Okay.
Everything much easier for sure. Like if you are surrounded by people that tell you can't make it, right? Just because it's something different or just because the market is bad, I think you or you are super confident, and I don't believe everybody's 100% confident about that.
True, very true. Yeah. It's very true.
Or you are like, no, I know exactly what I can do, but you are always comparing yourself.
It's rare, right? And even those people have questioning themselves throughout the time.
Everybody will question.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you work, whatever area, but if you work in games, if you see another game that a company is doing, you're gonna see all them.
You will compare yourself to them. Yeah, exactly.
And so I think support is super important. Like I'm not saying you need it to make whatever you want to do, but it helps a lot. Monetarily or even just mentally.
Sure.
I think mentally is super important. You have someone on your back saying you can do it. Just final push, go for it. That makes everything much easier, for sure.
True. Have you always, or have you before this decision of yours that you wanted and started and made the first step of making your own game? Have you had the idea for this game before that first step?
Before I had so I'm crazy about all the Final Fantasy saga.
Okay. Me too. My all-time favorite game is Final Fantasy X. Yeah.
10. Okay, mine is 8. Okay. 8, 10 is amazing. I played hours and hours of that. But I think it was through Final Fantasy. I played, I think, the most of them. Now I play less because I don't have as much time. But as a kid, I played 8, 9, 10.
Nice.
From the 7. And I always want to create a game with a lot of story. I love RPGs.
Okay.
And then so that was something that I always wanted to create in the future. But we are a team of 2, so when we decided to create a game, we started talking. it started more like what can we do and not exactly
I see.
what is our dream game. Like
I
we
see.
love the game that we are doing, but we need to be realistic. We are two people, right? Let's create a nice game, but something we can do. And an RPG was completely like RPGs are massive, right? And to create a nice one with a nice story, with all the complexity behind it, it's something I want to do in the future. But for that, I think we need a bigger team or I need a bigger scope in time. So we went to the other type of games that we really like that are roguelikes, and that we are pretty sure we could do something nice with it. Also add a bit of story, because we both love that fact in games, and try to create something different, a roguelike with more story, with more chat options that change your path on the way. And I think that's how it came, how Folly of the Wizards came. And RPG then is moved a bit forward. Everything, it's our first game, so if everything goes well with this one, maybe we can think more about an RPG in the future.
I hope so. I would love to see an RPG from you guys. I hope so.
I'd love to do it. It can take a lot of years, but it's all
worth
about
it, right?
Yeah, it's tough, and it's all about. So as a first game, we need to think a lot about the budget that we have. Are we going to go with a publisher?
Understandable, yeah.
How long it's gonna take? Like we didn't want the game to take more than 3 years to make or two, because in 3 years the games will be so like how evolved they're gonna be, right? And we can't be like that creating a game right now, our first game. So we went to something shorter, but that we really love.
I see, and it makes sense. Yeah. I cannot wait for the RPG as well. So I hope that you will have success with this project and with that.
I hope so.
I'm sure.
I really hope so. Nice. Yeah, thank you so much. Nice. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see. Okay, you were talking about also about the story of your game. So what influenced the story of your game? If you can talk about that a bit.
So we wanted something with magic, around magic. We didn't want. We had different topics, but we always loved the medieval topic, magic topic, wizardry, and it came from there. And but we wanted to do something more fun with the story. We wanted our main hero, like the main character. We're gonna have a total of 4 characters that you can play with, but the main one, Laura, we wanted him to be a wizard, but not a regular one. He's a pupil. He's someone that is learning how to do magic, right?
I see.
Is a story, and now he has in the end he needs to save the world, and he still doesn't know how to use magic properly, right? So that's the main thing behind it. That's why you find relics on the way. You find old teachers that try to help you or not on your path. You find NPCs that you never seen them, and you ask for guidance, or you can help them on their path. And that's the main story. We're gonna have some twists along the way, and we wanted it's a roguelike, so it's like we can do runs in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes when you already know the game very well and find new builds. But we wanted during this reign to be a story, a story hidden there. So we also have an NPC called Nikash. He's a storyteller. So every time you find a new story, you can go back to him and he's gonna tell you more about the world that you live in. So we found a way of having a lot of lore behind the roguelike.
I see.
And was something that we always wanted. Through dialogues, through the stories that you can find, through every time you fight a boss, maybe you get a story about that boss that you didn't know about. And you're going to find more about, there's something weird about Laura's past, and you're going to find more about it until you reach the final boss, and you're going to understand what is happening, why there are so many demons coming now, where are the wizards, why we need to be the ones helping save the world, right? If there are better wizards around there, why that task is on us. So that's the main story without trying to spoil too much.
I see. And which came first for you guys when developing this game? Like, was it the story that came first or the gameplay itself? And also as a player and the creator, for you, which is more important in video games? Is it the story that you play video games for, or is it the gameplay that you play and create video games for?
Okay, so far as what came first was the type of game that this was going to be was roguelike. What the basic features that we're going to have. So the jump, the attack. are we going to have melee attack or not? In our case, we don't have melee attack.
I see.
Range attack. So the basics of the basics, right?
I see.
And so with that close, we know we went for the story. What is the story? We want to have wizards, but the very basic story of it.
I see.
And we had an idea what was going to be the final twist, right?
I see.
And then from there, we had the gameplay, we had the story, then we start doing the first graphic style, how the style is going to be. We wanted it to be quite colorful, very to the illustration, because I'm not the illustrator. And we want to follow that quite magical, think about a bit of the Disney movies. Samurai Jack was something that I grew up with, and I really love the art style from
I love that one too.
And we wanted to follow that style of flat shapes, simple shapes, but
I see.
create this whole world, and this was a process. After having all this together, then we started going more deep on the story, more deep on the features. Okay, we know we can jump, we can attack. The relics that we find, what can they change, right? Or we also have these elemental scrolls. So the game is a lot about you need to balance your elemental, like you have water and fire, you can unlock a new elemental. And then the monsters have defense and they are better against some elemental. So you can plan your whole run based on the biomes you pick, or on the map you are actually at, and the monsters you are fighting.
I see.
And then with all the thing, with all the mechanics discussed, then we start developing them, and then comes the rest of the story. What NPCs are we going to have, right? This NPC, how is going to be? Why is important in the story?
I see.
Then came the bosses, and then it starts flowing from there. And but the first, I think, was the style of game and the basic mechanics that we wanted to have. Then the story, then the graphics.
I see.
And it came from there, because we so our thing was always to find a publisher for funding and for localization and for porting also.
I see.
And we went to the first 5-6 months was have a prototype ready. So we had all the basics of the illustration, everything, to be sure we got the funding, and then we are peacefully developing the rest.
I see.
And we came from there.
Okay. And as a player, what's important for you more? And as a
creator? So what I really like as a player is I really love illustration. So it's always the main thing I go for.
I see.
Is before I buy a game, what I see first is illustration, and if it's a style of game that I usually play. And nowadays I've been having less and less time to play games, so I pick games that I know I can do. I can play for 1 hour a day, or I don't need to be 5 hours to evolve in something. Right? So there's always something I pick. I pick the mechanics, then the graphics, and then maybe later I leave the story for the end. So I always go for illustration and mechanics first.
But it makes sense because it's your passion, right? So it totally makes sense at the end of the day.
What picks my eye,
what drives you? True.
Doesn't need to be, at least for me when I buy a game, doesn't need to be the new, like with super innovative mechanics. So it can be something I played 5 years ago, but I like the style, I like those mechanics. I'm going for it, and the game looks beautiful, then I'm going for it. Like I don't know right now. Like Hollow Knight is what comes for me in my mind, but I think comes for everyone when it's related to 2D illustration. When I saw that game, like I find it gorgeous, right?
Sure.
And I don't find the mechanics too complex to play the game. But I find the whole world they created, even without barely any dialogues, like you have a lot of lore behind, but you discover by itself. I love that feeling. And when the world is so well represented, I can leave the mechanics and the story for the end, because I'm looking at something very beautiful, and it's like watching a movie for me.
True.
But in this case, I can play through it. It's really nice.
Very true, yeah. So more personal question from me would be, again, I believe in this statement of mine that all of us creators who create our own craft, we always intend to put our inner self into the craft we make, even if it's our experience of loss or love or anything from our past. Do you think that this statement of mine is true for your work? When you were working still on video games, and also of course the art?
I think you always put something of yourself or your story into your game. I believe, even if you don't think about it, will always be something about you in the game. And in our case, I think me and Luis, we put characters related to us in the game, or pets, or even the people that we met. We can find in the game some names or some relations. So it's always something, I think, any developer or artist will always put a piece of them in the game, because it's something they know, it's something they are related to, right? It's something part of their story, and sometimes it's easier to pick something that you know and put inside what you are creating, right?
True.
Even in the conversations, we always, so basically people that we talk with during our days, you are always related to them. So maybe in the NPCs, when you're writing their stories and the way they talk, maybe if we are not thinking about it, we are putting them there. So I think, a bit of us will always go with the game. If it's not in the artwork, we'll go in the story, or in our case, our lore is a character, as I told you, is not very good at magic and is trying to learn, but can also be a hero, right? And it's a bit what we are doing. We are not game developers. We both came from different backgrounds, and we are trying to make a game. It's something we never did, but we're going to try to do the best game possible that we can. So to answer your question, I think so. I think we put always a bit of us in the game.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
What was your favorite piece of art to design and to make in Folly of the Wizards?
So I love to make characters, NPCs. I really love, and to think how they're gonna talk, or what's their story. What I like to do less, I can tell, is probably backgrounds or tile maps. Like, it's something that I do it, but I always leave it to the end.
I see.
But so what I always pick first is the characters and secret rooms, or I love that vibe, create their personalities through illustration. So I think we have 4 main NPCs, and I really love to create them, and how they're gonna be, how they look.
I see.
And I think my favorite NPC is one called Verana.
Okay.
He's like a witch, a red witch, and I love that. I love to create that character, and even the main character I really enjoyed, all the monsters. So I can tell you, probably, when character design is my favorite thing. My favorite thing to do, and Verena was my favorite character, and some bosses that you'll find on the way. Maybe I also enjoy to do them, to make them, but I'll say Verena, and character creation in general is my favorite thing.
I see. Okay. We talked now about your favorite, but what was the hardest part of the process of making this game alive and making this game? So
in terms of artwork, or in general?
In general, and also if there was something hard during the art segment of the developing process, then the question goes to that as well.
No, I think definitely the hardest was the start, because not the start, but a bit after the start. I think the start, you have all the excitement, and you're creating, you're drawing a lot, the other person is coding a lot. Then when it comes to start putting everything together and going to detail, all the character animations, and when the character dies, when the character is jumping, when he's double jumping, all these small details can start making things a bit tiring, right?
I see.
Because it's really nice to start creating a story and drawing freely, but when you start to draw a shoe, or draw a small finger, or this finger needs to move, and you start going more on details, can become more tiring.
I see.
It's still enjoyable, but the process of putting all together, the coding with the art, and start discussing how this is going to be, and then recognizing that something doesn't work well, you need to go back and redo everything of some art piece, or all the animations the monsters have to have. So the animations, we have the attack animation, right? We have the walking animation, running animation. Sometimes you depends on your element, you can put the monster, you can make the monster start sneezing, right? So every monster in the game can need to have the animation of sneezing. So I think it starts getting tiring when you start thinking of everything you need to do. So I think it needs to be planned very, very well, so you don't miss anything at the end and start rushing details, right?
True.
Or even so I can tell you from my side was think about all the animations that every boss, every monster had to have, how they're gonna work, because it's all based on frames, right?
True.
So we need to think about, a boss animation attack is coming. you need to give some time for the character to react, right? For the player to react. So think about how many frames is that time, right? It's something very new for us, something we never had to thought about before in our previous jobs.
I see.
So I think that adaptation to a new job and new thinking was the hardest part for me, at least. And I think Luis will tell you the same. I think it's this learning process of something new, how to create a game, right? A lot of reading and adapt our skills to this new thing with such a small team, right?
True.
And because we are both responsible for a lot, like since we are only two, he needs to do coding, he needs to do VFX, he needs also to think about the sound. I need to do writing, it's something I never did, or I need to think about how the story is going to be told, and it's something we need to adapt. It's cool to learn new things, but it's also very tiring, and I will say that that was the hardest part, was the adaptation of our skills to a new job per se.
I see.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that sometimes you had to redraw some drawings and some art. Was there anything during the development process so far that you guys totally had to cut out from the game? It might be coming back later or in other projects?
Yes, for sure. We cut a big chunk of it. Like all the maps that we planned, we have like 10 different biomes with different monsters for them. They stayed, and we managed to keep them all. We have 4 characters right now, and we have already new characters drawn.
I see.
But we are not gonna put like it's not adding anything new, and maybe can come later in patches. We'll see how it goes. But the biggest chunk we had to cut was we had this idea of creating. We created all different language for the game, a different alphabet. So every relic, when you are reading, was in this different alphabet, right?
I see.
And you'll be able to unlock this alphabet through a secret room. Was called the teacher room. Was a teacher that was there, and you had to spend some money.
It's something similar that near replicants did, right?
Yeah, something similar. So you have this alphabet, and you can unlock letter by letter until you finally unlock everything, and you can read. And that was something that we had. And then when we start doing testings with our publisher and with different players, they were not finding it funny and was just was blocking the game. Like they wanted to play, and so they wanted to read already, and they wanted to know what to pick. Or
they wanted to rush it, right?
Yeah, they wanted to rush it, and they want to play through the game. I understand it will take a lot of runs to be able for you to unlock the whole alphabet.
I see,
and that was something we wanted it to be fun and not to be a struggle for people to spend too much time unlocking this alphabet. So it's something that we decided to cut completely for now.
I see.
And the way we did it is we don't like to have the relics and the descriptions saying exactly you do more damage with it or no. So we changed the text of every relic to gives you clues on the text. Like you have
okay. So it's still a mysterious perspective, but okay.
So you have a chicken leg. It doesn't say this chicken leg heals you. No, it will tell you something. This chicken leg was my favorite meal while I was in school, and I feel really good with it. Or was our way of keeping the mystery behind all the relics and everything around. And you can still discover it the moment you use it, or if you read with more attention, you'll understand, and you don't actually need that alphabet anymore.
I see.
The sad part we had to cut. There was a whole room, secret room for it, with a teacher giving a lesson, but that we had to take out. And maybe in the future we can use that room for something else, or as you are saying, for another game.
I see.
But for now, we'll be out.
I see. Okay. Thank you for your honesty again. By the way, exclusive information's here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. You also mentioned that you guys are working with the publisher. Was it hard to find the right publisher for your team? How do you feel about that?
I can tell. We still can tell them. I think now November we're gonna do. I think it's probably still discussing with them. It's gonna be the release of our collaboration between the publisher and file.
Okay.
But we got. So I told you we start working on this game start of last year.
Okay.
And we were like 5-6 months until we have a prototype, and we were looking for some. Like it was weeks of search for publishers that we identified ourselves with and that we thought would like our game, and we found this one, and the whole process was really nice. The discussing of everything, the contract, everything, and we find them super cool and super supportive, and they told us they're able to help us with everything, and we've been feeling through almost 2 years their help all the time. They let us be completely creative free, and they're super supportive, always very attentive, and now they will start helping us with marketing also. And so it was amazing to work with them. And the process of finding him, yeah, was just we start gathering a couple of publishers, and we saw what games they release, right, and what they're used to work with, what they can help us with. And we are very aware of the budget that we needed, the how long we were going to take to make the game, and we had that all planned. So I think it made it easier to let them know what we needed from them, and they were impeccable so far, and we are enjoying really working with them. And I think now in November, end of November, you're gonna hear about the publisher name, and they're gonna start um, working more, working with us more about marketing and all that, that area.
Nice.
But was a yeah, it took some time, the starting process, right? Because we need to keep everything on contract, everything very defined. But after that, they've been very nice. After that comes the easier part. I will say, until you have the prototype, you start talking, until you have a contract is what is more stressful and is more communication. But after that, if you have a nice publisher like we are lucky to have, it becomes very easy to work.
I see.
Yeah, so it was like that.
I see. You mentioned also that you're working on this game with your friend. Do you believe in perfect synergy between team members? How do you feel
I think in
about
small
that?
teams, it's super important.
Okay.
Like, I know I can work. When we started this game, we knew it was gonna be tough because we wanted to do it in 2-3 years.
I see.
So we know each other very well for
I see.
more than 10 years. So we knew that we worked really well in the past. We know what's our speed, and we have a really nice communication, right? And if he can do something, maybe I can try and help him, and vice versa. And we don't have this thing, oh, I did more than you, or you did more than me.
So it's not a competition.
We are two. We are making a game. Let's both give our best. And I know he's a really hard worker, and me too. So I think that really helped us.
I see.
And I prefer to work in smaller teams. I think it's faster to get an opinion. It's faster to work on something. At least for a small game. I know bigger games you need more people, but for everybody to go into an agreement, I think smaller teams are good. You can get that agreement faster. You don't lose so many hours on calls or defining something, or it's all the process is very
connecting
fast.
People to each other, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And you need a lot of trust, like, because I don't understand, I can't help him with coding, right? And he can't help me with art. So I trust him 100%, and he trusts me 100%. So I will say I always work very well in small teams, and I think it's the case of my colleague too, and that's how we work, at least for now. And even if by any chance the game is a success and we can grow our team, I don't think we'll ever go more than 5 people. I like this cozy small team where everybody
like
helps
a family,
each other,
right? So
yeah, like a family, and everybody's helping. If you need 1 week out to relax, take your week out. Like, we understand it. I think the more if you have 20 people, 30 people, in my case, I think I'll get lost. In so many people, I prefer smaller
not just you,
teams,
but the vision can be lost as well, right?
That's, exactly. And you start to have more people for management, and it's a whole new process. And I really like small teams where everybody can talk, and everybody's ideas is going to be into the game for sure. If we are a small team. And I like that, and I think me and Luis, we really work well together, and that's why it's been so good all this time.
Nice. A more personal question for me again would be, how have you changed as a person in other territories of your real life from being a game developer?
So I think in terms of like the work, I think we are overworking sometimes. I think we are working more now than we worked previously to other companies, because it's our little project, right? And we
Sure.
really want to make it work. So maybe we spend more times working,
I
and
see.
sometimes weekends will come. So, but I really I don't like to let the work take too much time of my social life, and I really like to be with my wife and spend the weekend with her, and even the rest of the family, friends. So we always try to keep let's keep it 8 hours a day. Let's not do more. If because now we work with timelines, right? We need to deliver this year. If the time is coming, yeah, we can do maybe 1 week. We do a bigger stretch,
See.
and then we take some days out. But we try to not let this work get into our social life, right? We want to keep that. We know we are a small team, and it's a new project, and it's our new company. But at least for me and Luis, we keep our social life. We try to maintain it the same. So I don't think this dev life changed my style of life at all, because we worked all these years already, so we know how the companies work, how the behind the company works. So I think this expertise or this experience helped us a lot to keep it real. We know what we can do. We know the sizes of the game that we can do. Let's not go crazy. And we still want to live during these 2-3 years that we are working. We don't want to kill ourselves coding and not live at all. It's like I feel it's like more like an hobby. We really enjoy to do it. Like, and we are having the best time working on the game. So let's not affect the other side of our lives, the social life.
I see.
So I don't think the dev life affected us. We connected with a lot of more devs in Portugal, maybe, and even on X, the previous Twitter, and with people like you that come and want to know more about the game. That's really nice. So we start connecting with a newer crowd, right? We were always on the player side, and I was always on the side of the player. It's cool to be on the dev side and see the struggles and what it takes to make a game. But I don't believe it really affected us or made us see life in a different way. I don't think so. I think only this opened us more doors to meet new people, and but we always try to keep the life balanced, and keep doing the same life. Okay, this is maybe we have more freedom now because we are working for ourselves, right? We don't have the stress of going to meetings weekly, or I need to talk to my boss. I need to show him this work. So I think life became more relaxed in terms of that, but with more work. So I think it stayed balanced, but it didn't really change my point of view over life, or that I need to work harder. No, that I don't think it came. It's just something we wanted to do, something we like, so let's do it, and let's not forget we have the rest of our life ahead of us, and we have family and friends and all the people we love also.
True.
So yeah,
very true. Throughout the life as a person who always made forms of art, have you ever had those moments where you had a crazy idea for a piece of art that you would like to make, but you couldn't, like, make a sketch for it, and you totally forgot that idea of
good
yours?
question. Yeah, good question. Like, I did. I think before, when I was studying, I always wanted to do. I was always into browser games, right?
Okay.
I wanted to do a game on a website.
Okay.
The person, like, I don't know if you know, O Game is like a sci-fi game with spaceships, and it's
Okay.
completely browser, and exists for I don't know how many years. I remember it as a kid, and it still is going on. And I really liked, because it was the way I found maybe I can do a game by myself. But then came the coding, and I always forget. So I always had a lot of ideas to do, that I wanted to use art to work on. I wanted to create a short animation story, but that's also something that can take years, right? And I never had the time to put on it to be completely free. So maybe I'll say, yeah, I always love to do a short animation that I could see on Netflix, or something like that. Because I always grew with Disney and Pixar also. And,
Can you see yourself doing that in the future, by the way?
I don't think so, because that I think I prefer video games, honestly.
I see.
I really like animation, but I really like to have power over the story. You know, yes, I would love to do this animation, this short story. Maybe in the future, I don't know. I'll go back to that, but I really like. It's two sides that I really love. I love to watch animated movies, and I love
see.
to see a good 2D game where I can play for hours.
I see.
So it's a balance. I really like both things, and so the one that came first was the game, and was this opportunity. So I'm following this path right now,
True.
and maybe in the future, if I come back to this idea of creating a short story, I think that I need a bigger team, and I need definitely more expertise. And more experience. Maybe I go there. You know, I try to follow what I like to do, and so this opportunity came to us. We took it, and we really love it too. So let's do it.
True. Okay, so as far as I know, your game is coming out to PC, but are you planning to release your game to other platforms as well?
Yes, definitely. That's
Okay.
something that took us to that made us start looking for a publisher.
Okay,
Is this is localization? Want to have in different languages and the porting also. So we are going to have on computer. We're going to have on Switch, and possible on PS Xbox is still being defined, but definitely Steam Deck and Switch
I see.
are the main, and we are planning to also have a physical edition for Switch.
I also wanted to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's something that is being discussed, collector's edition, but it's
Nice.
still being discussed. And yeah, but that's our plan.
I see. And when the final format of your game will be released, my first question about that would be, what is the release date goal? And also, if you release the full version of your game, are you planning like to support the game with, like you said before, DLCs, like for example some content that you had to cut out and you still like wants to make it into game, or other like story set pieces that you would like to put into the game? And how long would you like to support the game? And after that, will you like move on to a next project? That's your plan.
So right now we are still on the process of QA. We are testing the game. We are still doing defining some things.
Okay.
So the game probably will come mid next year.
Okay.
Is the idea that we have, but we are still defining. But this year will not come this year. So will be next year. Now the date specifically we still don't have. And it's still being defined. Depends on how many bugs we found on the way, and all the localization process, how long it's taking, the porting. That's the first. So then we would like to release it on Steam and Switch at the same time. Let's see, it's also something being defined. And then in terms of updating the game, I love games that keep updating and keep growing inside, like Stardew Valley or even Binding of Isaac. I don't know how many DLCs it got, but you have some examples. I really like those games that you can keep updating without DLCs. You keep releasing free patches, and you keep adding, and you keep bringing more players. But it's something this needs to be discussed with the publisher. And depends also on the success of the game, right?
True.
We need to see how well the game is going to do. If people are really interested in the game, if they want to know more about the lore, if they want to keep seeing more characters, we love the game. So I would love to keep working on this game and make it grow as much as we could. But I'm also interested in creating more stories, so it will depend a lot on the success of the game. How well, if people like it, if people don't like it, what can we do better? I think the first months, weeks will be us getting a lot of also feedback of something that went wrong and trying to make it better. And depending on that feedback, we'll see. I think now our focus is completely on the release. Yes, I would love to keep updating the game as much as we could and create and give, because I think there's a big role behind Folly of the Wizards. True. That we could keep expanding with more characters, with more biomes, with more lore. And I'd love to do that. Let's see how well it goes on the release.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I don't know if you asked something else.
No.
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, so my question would be like, as for the development process, or about the development process, is that what are you still planning to challenge yourself on? Because you told me before that like you always want and love to challenge yourself. Is there anything that you would like to learn and to challenge yourself and grow as a person who makes
For
video
me,
games?
I would like to grow in terms of my artwork and animation.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
I think it's something I can always do better, right? And
okay.
when I see bigger company like 80s 1 or 2, when I see that artwork, I always like, damn, I love to be able to do this or these animations. And I also love games that they really play with the sound and music. Like
Okay,
80s has one boss that sings. I find that amazing, and I love to be able to understand more of game development and
I see.
how we can make all these different things, audio, code, art, work better together. And is since we just start now being game devs, it's something we have a lot to learn and to challenge
I
ourselves,
see.
right? And even in this game, we challenge ourselves in learning new things. Okay, we have an idea. I would love this to be in the game. Can we do it? And we're both gonna learn. Okay, let's read how we do this, how we do that, and and then we need to keep challenge ourselves. And I love 2D illustration, right? And I work with After Effects for all the animations, and I think I can keep improving there. I love to challenge myself more in learning 3D also, so we can also make a mix of 2D with 3D. I love
I
that
see.
style, and keep challenge me to do better illustration, do better animation, right? And Luis probably in the coding keep learning how to do different things. How can we code this now? We have because sometimes we have an idea we don't know how to do, right? And maybe we need to put it on the side. So keep challenging ourselves to okay, we want this idea, let's make it work, and that's the path, I think.
I see. I see. So as far as I know, in your game there will be like choice-based gameplay segments, which comes from like the roguelite genre itself. How will these choices affect the story part of the game? Like, can players miss some core story elements from the game if they choose uh, their
A
own
different
way
path.
to go, yeah, down the roads?
So
Yeah.
no, the core we kept the core lore. You're going to understand the core
Okay.
lore of the
Okay.
game just by doing a full run.
Okay. Okay.
Now we have a lot of but it's a very general story that you're gonna have a very general idea.
I see.
And the more then the way it's going is you start in a biome, you need to clear 5 biomes until the final one.
I see.
And the way you go is you going there are different rooms, we
Okay.
call them special rooms,
Okay.
where you have NPCs where you can buy relics.
Okay.
Others you can sacrifice something from you to get a new relic. And in these rooms there's always a different NPC, and there are 4 main NPCs, and you can talk to them. And when you talk to them, they start talking about their story or about whatever they are doing at the moment. And you'll always have an option. You'll always have a good option and a bad option, right?
I see.
And the moment you pick a good option or a bad option, you start creating affinity with them. Each NPC has an affinity bar, and based on your affinity with them, new biomes might appear. Like I'll give you an
Oh, okay. Okay.
example.
Okay. Okay.
With Verana, if you have bad or good affinity, a new door when you kill a boss, a new door for appear three doors for the next biome, and based on your affinity, a different door can appear. And if you have good or bad affinity with Verana can appear the door for the biome of L. And there, inside L, the boss will also be different based on your affinity with her. Maybe if you have a really bad affinity with her, you're gonna fight that NPC that you've been talking with. If you have a very good affinity with Verana, maybe you're gonna fight
Nice.
a boss that is affecting
I
her
love that. I
somehow
love
in the
that.
lore.
I love that. It's
So
similar.
and
That's
also
it's very similar to what Demon Souls had on the PlayStation 3 version. If you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that, it had this like word building of dark and white word building with your choices, right? And you could like
exactly.
defeat
So
different bosses if you had
this you
another
have the same.
choice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Love
So all
that.
these 4 NPCs, you can fight both of the 4, or you
Nice,
can help them and fight a completely different boss.
nice. Love that.
And
Love
also
that.
those biomes have different resists, and
I
like
see.
in Hell, you're gonna find more fire, so you need to
I
plan
see.
ahead
I see.
what elemental you're gonna take.
I see.
And also, but we also wanted to. We know there are some roguelike players that don't really want to stop and talk to the NPC and keep going, right? So also the relics that you find, will affect the affinity we have with the different NPCs.
Oh, I see.
Another path you can take, you just can go through relics, and then at the end will always be the main boss, and then we'll have 7 different endings also based on
Okay,
the
that's a lot.
animated
lot,
endings
yeah.
based on the affinity with the different NPCs. So we have a different of options. So we wanted the game to be replayable a lot. We're going to have more than 100 relics you can find.
I see.
We have around 15 tomes. Tomes are like special spells that you can use one time. We have one that an example, you can call a mermaid as a mermaid with guns that start firing
I see.
water everywhere. So we have a lot of things to find out about lore, about relics, and about the story of the character itself.
I see. What was your favorite boss to design in the game?
I think the coolest bosses are the NPCs because they have very weird mechanics, very different mechanics. There's one that looks like a bit like Super Mario, where you can jump on the monster. So that was really cool to design, and Luis did a great job in making every NPC boss fight special.
I see.
So I'll say my favorite fight probably is Larn. Larn is one of the NPCs. He's a merchant guy, and if you fight him, I think that is the coolest fight in the game for me. It's very different, but in terms of drawing, I really like the final boss. But I really like one boss is called Alin. Is like a stellar creature that you find in a different biome in the Forgotten Ruins, and I really like to draw that character. It's called Alin. So when the game came out, if you find it, it's like summon some stars. It's really cool. I really like the design. In terms of boss fight, I'll say Larn boss fight.
Okay. So in the main trailer that we can, as players, found or find on the Steam page of due to your game, I saw a frog that you can summon. Am I correct? Will you be able to summon a frog in the game?
Yes, those are part of the tomes that we're talking about.
Okay.
It's books with special spells that you need to recharge.
Okay.
And it's like one time most of them are selling. One is a mermaid. You call the mermaid starts shooting everywhere. The frog is another spell that you can summon, and it gives that lot of poison.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. And they come and they go out, and then you recharge, and you can call. All of these tomes come looks like a bazooka. And we have like around 14, 15. They're very different. It's like special spells. They do more damage, or I can tell you another one that we have is like a story guy that appears. You summon the guy, and he starts telling a story, and every monster falls asleep.
I see.
So you can all the spells are very, very, very weird, and we wanted to keep that.
No, I love those. Yeah, I was just curious about it. The frog that you can summon. Yeah.
Yeah. We want to keep the spells. We want the spells to be weird because he's not supposed to be a great wizard. He's still learning. Yeah. So, but he'll manage somehow to reach at the end, and
hopefully the frog will help and not ruin the experience,
right?
And
the frog helps. And we wanted to keep that funny side of the game. You have some serious topics through the game, but we want to keep it funny and to keep it quirky with all these weird spells, weird characters, and that's it.
I see. How did you guys came up with the name of the game? That's another topic that I'm interested in to talk about.
Yeah, so we wanted, as I was saying, we wanted the game to be funny. There was all this. We didn't want to go very dark, or
I see. It
was not something both of us we like humor, and we wanted to make something funny with a serious topic, but something funny even through the dialogues. So we came with it, and we wanted the wizards to be on it, but we didn't want the wizard to be amazing, like to be a Superman, right? We wanted him, as I told you, to be quite chill. He's still learning. He's just trying to do his best, and we want to create all the fun around him, and we wanted these spells to be weird because he's still learning. And then came the name Folly of the Wizards, because there's something wrong about this story. Why the senior wizards are not fighting, right? Why these kids need to go there and save the world? So it's all this folly around this wizard cult.
I see.
And the name came from there.
I see. Love that. Okay. Okay, so before I will go into some more questions, are you down to answer some questions from the chat, from the community as well?
Of course.
I Nice. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if there is any question. Let us know. Hölgyek és urak, hogyha bármi kérdés van a játékkal kapcsolatosan, tudassátok velünk. I will also include the Steam link, Steam page of your game here, because I included
Thank you.
I included it on my Discord, but let me do that on my Twitch chat as well, so people can check it out and wishlist it. Let me do that real quick. Nice. Okay. Let me also highlight it. It'll be easier for people to see. Nice. Mini is saying in Hungarian, I will translate it for you. She loves... Okay, let me read it first. Oh, she loves that the narrator is helped by all these voiceovers and voices, like helping him tell the story in an immersive way when he talks about the game. And also for her, the games seems very cute and also a bit scary in like a cute way. She loves that so it's basically not a question, it's a compliment. So she loves that the art style is so like clean and like very perfectionist, let's say, and also like very strong colors in the art style.
Thank you so
And
much.
she says congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No,
it's not a question, but yeah.
We take it. It's perfect. Yeah, we have the. I think she was talking about we have at the start of the game we have an animation narrated.
Okay.
That explains until he gets the point where he starts playing, and there is narrated is really cool.
I see.
And and the colors we wanted to keep. She was saying has really strong colors. We wanted to keep very livid colors, and as I was telling,
like you mentioned, the Samurai Jack influence.
Yeah, and the difference between always the black around the shapes and the bright color after that. We always love that contrast, and that was our goal, and I'm really happy that she loved it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Bármilyen más kérdés? Let us know. Please let us know. Bármilyen más kérdés? Any more questions? Any more questions? Let us know. Hölgyek és urak, bármilyen más kérdés? From all those experiences, while you wait for other questions, I will also ask some more questions. From all those experiences that you had so far as a person who makes forms of art, not just in the art industry, but in the video game industry as well, what would be your advice for those players who would like to start their career or their dream as a game developer and who would like to make their own games? Yeah.
So I think like in our case, I think it's good to learn. At least for me, it really helped me learning before illustration and animation through a company, even if it's not associated to game dev, right? I'm talking only about artwork as a developer. I don't know what's the best bet, but as an artist for a gaming company, I think learning before even working in another industry, it's fine, it's okay. For me, this worked. This was a path that worked, and I think learning motion design and being able to animate, not only illustrate, it helped me a lot in this game. And to start a company. Now, if we are looking for a company to work at, I think it's tougher because we have a lot of artists, right, trying to enter these AAA companies.
True.
But if you have a nice friend or that you can work with that knows the code part, like it happened to me. And if you know how to animate and illustrate, you can definitely start. And I think it's all based on training. And I got this training of animation from all these companies in design, right?
True.
So that helped me now to be able to animate and put it into the game. If I only learned illustration, I couldn't be doing the game right now,
True,
because
true.
then we needed an animator, right?
True.
So the more skills you learn, not only illustration but try to animate too, that is a big advantage for you. And also 3D. I don't know 3D, and it's something I love to learn. But the more you don't stick to one thing, right?
True. True.
The more skills you have, the better. And then of course you have people that go solo and they know about. They are artists and they're also developers, but not everyone can do that, and I definitely can't. So if you really want to do artwork only, just focus, work on other jobs like I don't know, draw flyers, start animating small animations at home, and then you slowly create your portfolio, and you'll find a company, or you'll be able to start your own with a friend and start working in your game.
I see. When was the first time, by the way, when you learned what is your own art style, or you found out what is your own art style?
I think, like I always draw a lot on paper, right? And then I started, when came Photoshop, I started experiencing more painting.
I see.
But I never had art classes. Like I had classes focused more on design, right?
Okay.
So I started working a lot with shapes, like rectangles, triangles, circles, and my artwork started coming from there. So I think in the first company that I started working only as motion designer, animating, and then I start needing illustration, right? And the style of videos that I was doing was very based on characters. Like you see a lot on YouTube, and it was very advertising characters 2D.
I see.
And I started creating my style based on that. Like
I see.
the face is a circle, and I add up the circle, and I started creating. So I got this style that is more flat shapes, strong colors with low shadows.
I see.
And I think I got my style from that first company that I worked in,
I see.
and also the work that I did for design, and it came from there. And I don't go very into. So I work a lot with shapes. I use Adobe Illustrator. I never use Photoshop to illustrate because I got used to animate. I need these shapes, right? So I always pick from Illustrator to After Effects, and my style came from there. And then I start improving these shapes, shape, and then came this style that I have now. Of everything is very flat, and I try to give a more dimension look through shadows and through small glows, but nothing very intense.
I see. You also mentioned that you are working with the music composer. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
How hard was it to find the right fit for your game, as for the music part and the music composer?
So far, quite easily. Like we are not
Okay.
looking at the start. You're not looking for it, and on I think on X you get a lot of sound designers coming to you when you create your page and it's growing. And there was one. His name is Major Bruno. It's the one we are working with.
Okay.
It's amazing, and we've been since we created the Twitter page. He's been there since the start, and he was genuinely interested in the project, right? I find other sound designers, they just come, drop a link, and they leave, right? And we found Major Bruno was with us since the start, and he was giving opinions. And at one point when we got the funding and we were ready to start the sound design, we went to him and we said, like, we love your work, and we love what we do. We saw you follow us, you know the game, you're following all the posts, you know what it's about. So it was the best thing. It was not, we didn't do a massive search about all the sound designers and musicians, and we saw his work, we really liked, and worked with him. He finished all the musics for the game. It was amazing. Like, he really got the vision that we had. We gave some ideas that we wanted for the game, right? What was the vibe, and he did it super well, and the musics are beautiful. So for us, we were quite lucky that he understood what we wanted, and we had someone like him that was following the game since the start. And it's such a such a vision on it already, right?
I see. See.
So I can send there.
So again, a more personal question would be from me. Do you think like now that you are making your own game and also planning to make games in the future with your friends and with your colleague, do you think like you found yourself in your life now that you are doing and making games? Do you think like you are at the right spots of your life now?
I think so. I think I can tell you better if we release the game and
Okay,
it goes well, you know. But I can tell you that I'm doing really what I love, you
I
know,
see. I see.
because I've been jumping because I like design. I like what I did before, motion design, but I knew I was getting tired, and I always wanted. This was always in my mind to make a game. Was always there, and like we had to do it, and
I see.
so it was a risk, but we thought risk because we knew now we were both in a good position to try.
I see.
So I can tell you, yeah, I'm super happy where I am right now, and I'm doing what I love. So I think I'm in the spot that I wanted to be.
I see.
With that, now if we can keep doing games after this, I would love to. So if that happens, then yeah, this is the life I definitely want, and I'll keep doing this for the rest of my life for sure. I'll not go back to a company, a design company, or not.
I see.
And yeah, so yeah, I can tell you, I probably found myself doing what I love, and that is video games, animation, illustration, and I'm lucky to be doing all together, and
Nice.
for our
That's
own game.
nice.
So that's
Nice.
even
Nice. Nice.
even
Nice. Nice. Okay, so before I will go into some more closing questions, do you think like we discussed everything, or is there something that you would like to talk about before I ask some more questions?
Well, I think you did. I think you followed every topic, right? And even about the game, I think we spoke about all the main features. That is a roguelike, is very repeatable, and a bit about the story, how we reached this point, the size of our team, right? That we are only two. Um, and no, I think we went through every topic that I also wanted to talk to you. So
Okay.
I think you are good.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so my two closing questions would be first, if you would have to describe the main core message of the story of your game, what would that message be? Like, what message did you guys always wanted to give to the players with your game to consume?
I think the main message that we talked right at the start was that you don't need to be the best to be able to do
Okay,
something.
okay,
I think that was always something we wanted. That's why you have this character that is
okay,
not the best, but is still the hero. You know, he's still the main hero, even if he does most of the things wrong. And you will be able to help a lot of NPCs on the way if you want to, or you will be able to do a lot of good, even if you're not the best. And that was always the main message that we wanted to show, because we also, me and Luis, we are not the best, and we are being able to make a game that is what we want, right? And so yeah, that's definitely the main message. You don't need to be the best to be the hero,
true,
or to
true,
do something good,
true, very true,
or to follow your dreams. So
true.
that was the main thing.
Thank you for that. Okay, my very last question would be, we talked about your future plans and how you view your future as a game developer. And you also talked about like your love for Final Fantasy series and for JRPGs with your friends too. What kind of topic would you like to touch if you would happen to make a JRPG game or RPG game?
RPG game, good question. I don't think I thought about it.
Okay, okay.
But let me think. I really like
Or what topics are you interested in to bring to the table as the story part and the art part as well?
so we did, like, now we did a magic more vibe game, right?
Okay,
And despite these medieval topics and with the wizards, I really love it. But another point, at least for me, Luis, we didn't talk about this. I really love science fiction,
okay,
and I always thought about a game in space, right?
okay,
And and I love that. And I really RPG in space,
okay.
because I love, and it's something I think I can visualize story for it, and you have so many. When you put as a main stage, you have so much that you can.
Art style, right?
Yeah, and
environment in space or characters.
Exactly, and I think it's something to work as an artist. I really like stories that have a bit of. I don't know if you play the Kingdom Hearts. I love that game, and the story is totally that like, and I love the characters. The things that the game has good characters and a really. Probably I'll say for an RPG, I'll go more sci-fi space, maybe with different planets you could check or of characters. I love turn-based.
Me too,
old timer on those things.
Yeah.
So I a turn-based RPG with cool characters, nice roster, and
who knows? Maybe you will be owning some Disney characters. So see Lion King in your game in space. I can imagine.
Suit, yeah. I love it. Opportunity to become, so proud of that. But yeah, definitely something in space. I love
it. Thank you for that. Okay. For your time and your honesty, it was really a pleasure of mine. Before the there is a question. My bad. My bad. Okay. Tanda. A similar game or a sequel to this game?
Sequel, I won't say. I'll say we'll if they patch the game with more characters, more bio. I would love to do. It needs to be discussed with publisher, of course. Love to increase this game and not do a second one. This game huge.
I see. Sorry, I question, but thank you for the question and the answer as well. Thank you, Karma. Thank you. Okay, like I said, question. I really appreciate your time, and like at the beginning of our interview, I will need some more of your minutes. But thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you joined us here for today's episode. I really appreciate it. Honor and pleasure. And everyone, don't forget to wishlist the game, right? Promotion time, it's important. Wishlist the game, and yeah, if you like it, let us know. And yeah, thanks everyone who joined us for today's episode. And thanks for those who will watch the VOD or the edited version later this year on YouTube as well. And yeah, have a nice day or night.